Hi, today we are talking about end of the year and getting yourself ready for sale. I'm joined today by Sarah Wood, our buyer account manager. Sarah spends all day, every day talking to buyers, helping them find nurseries to buy and talking them through the numbers, explaining how it all works. So I think towards the end of the year, be it the end of the calendar year or the financial year or the academic year, your brain automatically turns to what I want to do next year or what I feel like I need to do next year. And for some people, that might be actually looking to sell next year. And I think it's a massive, massive undertaking because, for a lot of people, even getting through the emotional decision before you even start thinking about what else you need to do practically as well can be huge, can't it?
It can.
And it's very, very overwhelming. But the thing is, it doesn't have to be. And there are things you can do that are very, very quick and easy to start putting things in place. For a lot of people, the first step is always evaluation to find out what you're worth. But even if you're not quite ready to make that commitment to sort of say, okay, yeah, I'm going to do it, there's still things you can do within your own setting to actually kind of get yourself organised. So if it is that you make that decision further down the line, you've done half the work already. So, things like very basic things. If you lease your property, make sure you know where your lease is and make sure you know essentially when your term runs out and actually if there's any particular terms you need to look for.
Definitely lease first.
Yes, because in reality, this is something that regularly becomes a problem because actually, you're in a property, you're kind of going, oh yeah, I've been here this many years. I think I've got this many years left. And then you go to sell and suddenly realise that actually you need a new lease. Or your lease doesn't allow you to actually transfer it over to someone else, which can be a problem.
It takes so long.
Especially if there's anything like councils involved. Third-party landlords have no vested interest in moving faster than they want to. So it doesn't matter how much you or your buyer or their lender or their broker or anyone is jumping up and down, it's not going to happen fast. So getting a good understanding of it now is very, very important, isn't it? There's also just basic things like a floor plan. You'll be amazed how many people don't have a floor plan of their setting. And actually, because the numbers of Ofsted have changed, when we work with buyers, they'll regularly look at Ofsted and say, oh, well, it says it's registered for this amount, but you're telling me we can have this amount. We all know that it's all done on measurements now, but just a basic floor plan that has the measurements is so easy and so actually useful for us as brokers to give them a good understanding of what they could achieve within the setting. It should be the job of a couple of hours at most, but once you've got it, you've got it.
And they might not think they have a floor plan, but if they check their evacuation and their fire safety pack, there's usually one in that.
And then you could just copy it and add the measurements, nice and easy. If you want to go so far as to calculate how many kids you can fit in as well, that'd be amazing. It makes it a lot easier for us as well. Of course, one of the biggest things you need to get sorted are things like your figures. But actually, this doesn't need to be a massive task. There's some small things you can do to kind of get yourself prepared.
Be a great idea to bring your accountant in on the idea that you might be selling and prepare for sale together. Therefore, we might get your accounts done a little bit faster. If you tell them you need that by a certain date, they might work with you.
Yeah, definitely worthwhile doing because in reality, your accountant, is just working on the basis of, don't worry, as long as I've got the figure for when you need to pay the tax. But actually, by the time you get your accounts, they're often 6 to 9 months out of date. And with the way nurseries change so drastically day on day, it is actually, we need more up-to-date numbers. So if you can turn around to your buyer and say, year end in March, June, here's the accounts for last year, then you're in a much better position. And they're in a strong position to go to the bank as well.
It will always stall your sale. It will always stall buyers from putting in offers if they haven't got up-to-date financial information.
Yeah. And also, because incomes have gone up so much for a lot of nurse settings over the last few years, you want to be able to show that information because actually if you're asking a buyer to work on the last set of accounts and kind of take into account that, but it is better now kind of thing, then that is quite hard to go and present to a bank and get lending on. So you also need to think about trying to keep track of your monthly figures. Obviously, if you use someone like Xero, it does it for you. But if you don't, you probably do want to look at doing maybe a basic set of management accounts. Don't get scared by the word management accounts. They don't have to be complicated. It's just about tracking the income, tracking the costs, and just being able to show to your buyer that actually that's what's been going on since the accounting period.
More and more buyers are asking for the management account.
Yeah, it is something that actually, especially as you get more investor type coming into the sector, they will expect these things to be there. And so even though you kind of go, well, I've always run one setting, I know what's in the bank at the end of the month, you need to be able to show this as well. And on the plus side, it should hopefully, make you more familiar with your numbers. And hopefully you'll see that actually, maybe you'll save a bit of money along the way because you'll see where maybe that money's drifting out the door a little bit.
Nice.
It would make life a lot easier, wouldn't it? There's also things like paperwork. So, I think you and I, we see lots and lots of sellers who kind of go, yes, I've got my staff contracts somewhere. And, you know, Ofsted requires us to all be a little more organised maybe, but actually there's going to be a lot of paperwork involved in a sale. And that a lot of sellers can find that really, really overwhelming, aren't they?
Because they didn't come into the sector necessarily to be paper pushers. They came in to work with children and enrich the lives of children. So then to give them this massive admin task,
Yeah.
be quite daunting for them.
And sometimes due diligence, when you get the list, it does feel like they're asking for every bit of paper you've ever laid your hands on.
Colour your pants up.
Yes, inside leg measurement are the whole thing that goes with it. So anything you can do to prepare, even if it is taking out one file from the file cabinet every week and scanning it, it's going to make your life so much easier. It is going to make your life so much easier. And we all know that when you've been in assessing 25 years, stuff accumulates and spreads out. So it's also a great time to have a bit of a clear out as well. And again, don't do it all as one task. No one's asking you to do that. But small and steady, it will make your life so much easier, without a doubt. Key thing, Joe, biggest bit of advice I can give you is get advice. Okay, so a sale doesn't happen overnight. You're making a decision that you might do this next year. That could be you'll suddenly go, January, today's the day, I'm off. Or it might be actually you're going to start putting things in place with a view of maybe going early the next year. Or maybe just seeing what's going on and seeing if it's worthwhile and making that decision at all. But you need to get advice. This is a very, very changing market. And actually, you know, even a valuation, we never say you should never market on a valuation more than 6 months old because the market is changing so quickly. So make sure you go out there and you talk to people, get advice about things you can do now to lay the groundwork, be that things within the business, things within the accounts, or just kind of getting yourself emotionally ready to go. It's well worth investing the time now because actually it will make next year hopefully seem a little bit easier. I hope you found that useful. If you have any questions, please drop them into the comments below and hopefully we'll see you again soon.